This mini-podcast presents the views and ideas of VoiceMore Masisi, a group of young spokespersons supported by World Child in North Kivu, the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Since 2020, the group have been researching and advocating against the recruitment and use of children in armed groups. The group were asked to work together and discuss what they feel are the weaknesses of current reintegration programs, what could be done to improve them, and what the perfect reintegration package might look like from their perspective. It is their ideas and opinions that are presented in this program. First, we will hear from Bakiri, Jamba, Pierre, and Imani as they explain what is currently not working well with reintegration programs in Masisi.
I am Bakiri, age 24, from Masisi. I see that currently in Masisi, when a child leaves the armed group, the members of the family and the community are happy. They let everyone know that the child that was gone has come back. Some children, when they leave armed groups, are referred to transitional foster families, but those children who are not referred are suspected by community members of colluding with the armed groups. These children are also excluded from community activities and stigmatized by the entire community in general. Children who have left armed groups also don't have a chance to participate in any community peace-building projects. Something else I see is that these children who leave armed groups have no psychological support to help them de-traumatize from their experiences.
My name is Jamba. I am from Masisi and I'm aged 23. I want to talk about the reintegration of children into their families after they leave armed groups. They benefit from some support. For example, the children are supervised in different trades such as cutting, sewing, carpentry, baking, and masonry. This support is provided by some national and international NGOs. However, the supervision is just for a few months, and training is insufficient.
I am Pierre. I'm 22 and I live in Masisi. The rights of children released from armed groups are not respected by some organisations. There is no follow-up after the reintegration of children, and the training they receive remains very short in duration, 3 months or even less than 3 months. Children are also not asked what kind of training they would prefer, or given a choice between trainings. It is already decided and imposed on them. There are also issues with the endowment of kits or materials for their livelihood support. Sometimes the support they receive is collective. For example, they will give one motorcycle for 5 children. The idea is supposed to be they will share it and start driving business together. But what normally happens is everyone will want to seek their own advantage, so they will agree with others in the group to sell the bike, so they can each have a share of the money instead. We want more sustainable reintegration projects in Masisi.
My name is Imani. I'm 20 and from Masisi. I come to give examples to the question. There are NGOs who arrive and promise that they will help children and young people out of armed forces. Some follow through with their promises, but others do not. Often if they give any help to these children, it arrives too late, for example in the last 2 months of the project. This means some NGOs say they have trained children, but these children are not ready or able to take care of themselves in the community.
Now, let's hear from Akina and Kwenza as they share their ideas of how to improve existing reintegration programs.
My name is Akina. I am 23 and from Masisi. In relation to the reintegration programs of children and young people who leave armed groups, we need the creation of vocational training centres and the financing of development projects. We must also raise awareness with parents and other members of the community to respect children's rights. We also ask the government and NGOs to help us to multiply the number of schools in the area so that children no longer return to the bush.
My name is Kwanza. I'm 24 years old and live in Masisi. For me, To reintegrate a child into the community, we must first welcome him and then direct him to the local chiefs to have a letter of exit, which helps prove he has left the armed group. As soon as he has this exit letter, he should be directed to a transit and orientation centre to be trained in different trades and equip him with things he needs to get started independently. There should be a follow-up to see if children receive the right support and help in the community.
The VoiceMore Masisi group then came together to design what they think an ideal reintegration package should be. Let's hear what that journey would look like.
Voici les canevas parfaits pour les programmes de
I would like to present the perfect framework for a reintegration program as we, the VoiceMore youth, see it. When a child returns to the community, the child should be well received and welcomed without prejudice. Straight away, they should be directed to the local chiefs, who should write them a letter of exit to help prove the child has left and to avoid later problems in the community. After this stage, the child should be directed to a transit and orientation centre. This would be a supported space where children can receive a variety of different services in a friendly way. This would include receiving immediate support such as help with their health needs, to work out who they can best live with, and to start to understand better what the next steps will be. Through the centre and its support staff, the child should be able to benefit from some psychological support because it will be likely that they were traumatised from their experiences in the bush. Then the child will be referred to a vocational training centre to learn a trade or skill of their choice. While the child is receiving this training, they should also benefit from recreational games and other leisure activities to reduce their stress and come back to a good mind. When they've finished training in a trade, they'll receive a certificate of participation to help prove they completed it successfully. If there are any resources or materials required to get started in their trade, the children should be offered these. For education, we think younger children should be supported to access education if they want to. Older children should be offered more flexible education options that they can mix with work and other duties that they have. All these phases should happen carefully and not be rushed. Once the child has completed all these stages, they should be supported to make a plan for their life, to see what they can do in their future. Finally, the child should be followed after all this support to see how they are getting on and how their new life is evolving in the community. This follow-up support would help make sure they're settling successfully.
Thank you for listening to the ideas of the VoiceMore Masisi group. You can download the full report and recommendation of the group on our website. You will find all relevant links in the description of this episode. Thank you for your support.